was afraid to come out of the locker. She wasn't nervous as she could be. She was afraid to come out of the locker. She was afraid that somebody would see.
Hello, I'm here. Nice to see you. We have been um, not seeing each other for quite a long time. That's why I think even the time is very urgent. I still try to bring you something, especially after the whole trip. I'm sure that we have some new insights about our trip, our learning, or the also the tea culture cross countries. That's why I think this is a perfect time. I have prepared 10 questions for the two guys, also for your reference. You want to understand. And my first question for you two guys, I'd like to ask you also know you officially. For Connor, it's your first time coming here to China, especially to go to the mountains. And Junior, you already went somewhere last year, but still, I'd like to hear from you. Before you came here, you have some impression about Vietnam tea culture, tea mountains. And after you come here to see the real tea mountain, tea plantation, especially old ancient tea trees, what do you think of? And what's differences from the real one and the previous one in your mind before?
Well, I just knew everything sort of from the internet and from videos. So it was a very great experience to be here by myself. I will never forget going to one of the ancient tree gardens and being there for the first time in my life, seeing really old and large trees, picking the leaves myself, and experiencing the mountain and village life. So I guess it has met my expectations, but it was way more beautiful and interesting than I could have imagined before. So it was a really great experience.
Yeah, I think for me, one of the things that's been very obvious throughout the trip is Julian was far more educated on Chinese tea and this region before we got here than I was. A lot of my understanding relied on, I would say, sort of the broader Western understanding of tea, which is pretty limited. Specific to the tea trees, I think one of the things that really struck me was how wild all the gardens were. I think I was expecting things to be more planted, more like maybe structured is the right word. I think when we see tea gardens or when they're sort of shown to us in the US, a lot of times it's the Japanese tea gardens that are very carefully rowed, that are used to harvest with machines as opposed to by hand, as is done in Yunnan. And so it felt a lot more traditional than I was expecting it to be. It felt a lot more, I want to say, almost like ancient, really, as opposed to what I expected to be more of a commercialized business, which I think you see in a lot of other parts of the world. So I really enjoyed that part of it, and seeing that, particularly on Jingmai Mountain, where what was one of the places we spent quite a bit of time, how the local culture has still been preserved. I mean, there's definitely a lot more tourism, it seems like, in the last few years than there had been before. But even with that, you could still see the majority of people there have been living similarly and practicing similar religions and celebrating the same holidays as their ancestors had for hundreds, if not thousands of years before that. So it was really nice to see that still can exist while Yunnan tea and I think Chinese tea more broadly has become so famous and has become so valuable. Oftentimes those two things, they conflict. And with money and prestige comes sort of the destruction of culture. And so I certainly hope that that's something that we continue to see.